Welcome to Episode 3, the Loch Ness Sonar Anomaly. In 1972, during a joint operation between the British Royal Navy and a civilian research team, a sonar mapping expedition was conducted in Loch Ness. Publicly, it was part of Operation Deep Scan, an effort to debunk or finally confirm the legend of the Loch Ness Monster. The project used some of the most advanced sonar systems of the time, charting the loch's depths with precision never before achieved. The official reports were mundane, few unexplained readings, some thermal distortions, nothing conclusive. But deep in the archives of the Scottish Fisheries Laboratory, decades later, a single misfiled document would surface, an unmarked sonar chart dated August 23, 1972. At first glance, it appeared routine. Grid coordinates, depth contours, acoustic signatures of passing fish shoals. But one section of the chart showed something else. A dense, moving mass, roughly 12 meters long, traveling at 40 knots beneath the southern basin. For reference, that's faster than any known submersible of the era and far faster than any biological creature known to inhabit fresh water. The shape appeared for 7 seconds, then vanished. The annotation in the margin was handwritten, and not by any of the listed technicians. It read simply, "Target submerged, visibility lost upon illumination." The accompanying lab notes, signed by a civilian sonar analyst named Dr. Ian Faraday, add a cryptic remark. Returned sweep shows altered bed topology. Recommend secondary scan. That rescan never occurred. In fact, within days, the entire project was quietly classified by the Ministry of Defense. Officially, the reason: equipment malfunction. Unofficially, no one involved in that sweep ever spoke publicly again. Years later, in 2004, an environmental FOIA request was filed by a university marine biologist seeking temperature data from those same waters. Among the scanned files was one mislabeled page, an acoustic return image from 1972 that shouldn't have been there. The metadata confirmed its origin, the chart was real, and the signatures, once enhanced with modern analysis, revealed something chilling. The object wasn't a random sonar echo. It was structured. The waveform reflected smooth surfaces consistent with alloy or composite material, not bone, not rock. Even more alarming, the bottom mapping immediately after the contact event showed a change in terrain depth by nearly 3 meters, as if a section of the lakebed had opened. For decades, locals have spoken of the loch's unusual geology: deep fissures, unexplored caves, channels leading towards the sea. Geologists have long dismissed those claims, citing a lack of evidence, but the sonar record hints otherwise. There may be more beneath Loch Ness than sediment and superstition. In 1973, declassified NATO records confirm a brief but unexplained naval lockdown in northern Scotland. No civilian vessels were permitted on the loch for 48 hours. The order was signed by an officer attached to the Royal Navy, a branch responsible for underwater acoustics and submarine detection. No reason was given. That same week, Dr. Ian Faraday, whose handwriting appeared on the sonar notes, vanished. His home in Inverness was found empty, his research material seized under the Official Secrets Act. His wife later told a local reporter he had become obsessed with a theory that the loch wasn't just a body of water, but a portal an access point to something ancient beneath the Earth's crust. She claimed he had mentioned low-frequency vibrations he could hear at night. Deep, rhythmic pulses he believed weren't geological at all. Modern hydroacoustic studies do record strange resonance patterns in Loch Ness. Subharmonic frequencies with no known source, they rise and fall cyclically like breathing, and scientists attribute them to thermal shifts. But others, those who've heard the recordings, describe them differently, more like communication. In 1987, a Royal Navy diver stationed nearby anonymously leaked a personal log. He described being called to assist in recovery operations at the loch following a sonar anomaly. In his words, "We expected wreckage. Instead, we found nothing. Only darkness below and the sound of metal moving." He claimed his dive watch stopped functioning at depth. When he resurfaced, he was reprimanded for logging an unauthorized dive and later assigned to the South Atlantic. The original dive record was expunged. For years, conspiracy forums have speculated about a secret installation beneath Loch Ness, some claiming it's a Cold War testing ground, others that it hides remnants of an ancient civilization predating humanity itself. Most of it reads like fiction, but the sonar evidence suggests a possibility that is neither myth nor monster. If the 1972 chart is accurate, whatever moved beneath those waters was intelligent. It avoided light, it altered its environment, and when the Navy returned for a follow-up survey, they found geological displacement, a cavity where none existed before. In 2011, a private satellite bathymetry scan conducted by a renewable energy company recorded an odd signature beneath the southern end of the loch, a hollow region measuring approximately 90 meters across and descending beyond the scan's limits. Publicly, it was dismissed as a data artifact. Privately, 2 engineers were quoted as saying, "It wasn't empty, it was occupied." Could Loch Ness conceal a subsurface civilization? If so, how long has it been there? The loch was formed nearly 10,000 years ago, but the caverns below, carved by glacial flow, are far older. Some extend toward the Moray Firth in the North Sea, connecting to an underwater trench system that's barely been explored. Ancient Scottish folklore speaks of the Usige, beings that lived beneath the water, emerging only when disturbed. They weren't described as monsters, but as watchers, keepers of passages between worlds. It's easy to dismiss that as legend until the sonar echoes match the stories. So what did the Navy see that night in 1972? Why did their own logs mark the object as classified moving structure? And why, after that one operation, were all further deep sonar sweeps restricted, rebranded as civilian depth studies, and stripped of government oversight? There's one final note in the fisheries archive, found 2 pages after the mislabeled chart. A maintenance technician wrote in pencil, "Secondary scan aborted, light interference unstable, object responded." That word, responded, is underlined twice. If the record is true, Loch Ness may not just be a lake hiding a creature. It may be the veil over something far greater, an intelligence that lives beneath us, listening, waiting, and learning to hide whenever we look too closely. And if it's still there, watching the surface, then perhaps all these years, the stories of Nessie weren't wrong. They were just misinterpreted. Not a monster, but a remnant, a civilization in the deep, older than memory, still pulsing beneath the waters of Scotland. And perhaps, like all lost knowledge, it's only waiting for us to rediscover it. Thank you for watching. This has been a JMacMingo production. Please like, share, subscribe, and give that algorithm a swift kick in the jollies. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again next week.